Hey guys, it's your girl Michelle, and I'm back with another Strut the Hustle episode. And on today's episode, we have Miss Hillary Cutter.
Hey guys.
Hey, she is the CEO and executive producer of Cutter Productions. How are you today?
I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. I've been following you for a while and I've been watching your pieces. So I was just like, I have to have her on because, this is important. A lot of people want to break into the film and production industry. And, it's kind of hard to be able to talk to someone. So I think this would be like a great opportunity for those people.
Awesome. So happy to be here and help the next generation of female filmmakers out.
So one thing I noticed about your company is that your focus is to have a diverse workplace, whether it's like gender diversity or just diversity in general. Can you tell me a little bit about why you decided to do that?
Yeah, so when I was starting out in the industry in the early 2000s, it was extremely male dominated. I had worked for three different companies over the course of 5 years. All my managers, bosses, direct supervisors were all men. And I really just wanted to create an environment and a platform for women and diversity because I felt like there wasn't a lot of diversity and there was a lot of room for it, and I wanted to make sure that the next generation of women coming up after me didn't have to go through that struggle that I went through. So it really just has become the the thesis and the theme and the inspiration behind both like my personal brand and my company brand and the voice and the um the opportunities that we want to give people, make sure everyone feels that there's a room and a space and a platform to feel comfortable to grow and develop and create their voices.
So I know that creating a company or a business in general is already something that's difficult to do, especially in a male dominated industry. So can you tell me how you were able to do that and to stand out?
Yeah, absolutely. So creating a company, no matter what the product is a challenge. You need clients and you need customers. And for me, really, the what I wanted to do is create a company that was all about creating a safe space and diversity, but also becoming a reliable resource to my prospective brand or studio partners. And so that has always been the messaging and the thesis of my company from the very beginning, and really creating authentic, true, and trusted voice. And I launched my company in 2005, and it really grew organically as we were sort of growing and getting trusted partners to take a risk on Cutter. And then as the years have developed, those relationships sort of they they blossom into new relationships. And so some of the first clients I had in from like say 2005 to 2010 have they keep coming back just because we've been a trusted partner from the beginning. And in recent years, just as my company has developed and we have a strong roster of diverse and female directors that we manage and lead and guide, we really have become a voice in the film and advertising community as a company who can authentically curate and bring a team together that's diverse, and then help our brand and studio partners tell a story that they feel is properly representing the story that they want to put out in the world.
And that's really great you touched on that because I think with a business, like, yes, having a great product is important, but customer service and having that great relationship is also just as important. So I'm glad you touched on how people you worked with years ago are
Yeah.
still, or decades ago actually, are still coming back and still wanting to work with you. Like, that's amazing to hear. And I think businesses need to like understand that.
Yeah, and actually the last 12 months during COVID has been a true testament of how important relationships are and trust, because in a time where the world is really challenging, and brands and TV and film studios still need to get their message out there, um, partnering with the right production company became even more important.
Now that's like amazing that you were still able to be able to work on projects and do your job during the pandemic because honestly like 2020 was so like unpredictable, so the fact that you were still able to get your message across and get your stories out there while keeping everyone safe is just like a really like great thing. So, but speaking of
Yeah.
projects, you were supervising producer and you co-produced the remix on Netflix, and I watched it and I really liked it because I've grew up like a huge Little Kim fan. So I was like, "Oh my god, like this is so like
That's
so
awesome.
cool." So can you tell me a little bit about like how like what was it like as being like supervising producer and co-producing that? Like how was that for you?
The remix Hip Hop X Fashion was a dream project for me. It came to me in early 2019. Lisa Cortez, who was the co-producer, um, co-director on it, she was commissioned to produce this project, just because of her background in the music industry. And um, when she came, I as as I sort of mentioned earlier, your reputation is everything. And I had been working, a few years prior to the remix. I had been a producer on a project called Rebel Music, and a woman who was the post supervisor on that project. We had stayed in touch, and when Lisa was looking for a trusted partner to help bring the remix to life, this other woman told Lisa to call me. And when she told me the log line of the film, telling the untold stories of women in hip hop and really trying to give light and honor and sort of celebrate, women and people of color who just like weren't getting the attention and the support and the honor that they deserved. And I thought, well, that is my passion in the film industry. So if I can help bring a film to life that is helping another industry, and in this case sort of hip hop fashion, giving light and attention to a woman like Misa Hilton, who, if you watch the film on Netflix, you'll get to learn more about her. And it was such an honor to take my filmmaking expertise and really give another industry, another creative industry, an opportunity and a voice and a platform for their stories to be told.
So, what advice do you have for someone who wants to work on a project like that or someone who's trying to break into the industry and they don't know what to do? Like, what's your advice for someone like that?
Absolutely. So, my advice is that definitely, if you're, whether or not you're in film school or if you're, studying any sort of communications or any, liberal arts, track, but if you're in college and you think you want to work in the film industry, definitely have definitely apply and and what's the word, complete several internships. If you want to work in the film industry and it's something that you find out in college that it's an area and an industry you want to explore, and internships are extremely important. And they can be at a TV network, at a studio, at a small production company. Usually at the intern level, it's entry level work, data entry, running, coffee runs, errands. It's not going to be glorious, but it's going to be really great experience. And then as you sort of, at once upon graduation, the key is to try and identify an area that you think you want to be in. And it's not the end all be all. The whole point of internships is to figure out what you like and don't like. So, for example, if you think you want to be an editor, you should really try to find an internship at a post production company. If you think you want to be a producer, try to find an internship that has a project management track. If you want to work in development, try to get a development internship. Like a lot of the internships out there at entertainment companies have very specific tracks that you can work in. And then once you graduate, you really need to just try something. Whether it's apprenticing for an editor, if you think you want to be a cinematographer, start working on set and become a PA in the camera department. Every department, every division within the industry, whether it's editing, cinematography, producing, animation, there's always an entry level production assistant role that you can try out, and it's low risk for the employer, and it is like extremely valuable for you to start to decide if that's an area you want to pursue. And it's really just knocking on a million doors, not sort of getting frustrated about rejection. You're going to send 100 resumes out before you get sort of the first interview. That's just the way the film industry works. And connections and networking are key. If you are in a film program, really tapping into your alma mater and sort of the alumni network um, within the program that you graduated from. Even if you didn't graduate from a film school, like I really do believe in college alumni relations. And who knows, like you maybe if you went to a smaller art school, like there's some fancy screenwriter in Hollywood who went to your program. And so like
You
really
never
do
know.
research and make sure that you're building that network, and then tell everyone that you know what you want to do, whether you're at a family function, a family reunion, you're at a wedding, you're at a barbecue, you're in an elevator in a random building. Like make sure the whole world knows like what your career goals are, because you never know who is going to open a door for you. And it's just really finding passion and telling your own personal story to make sure that you can go on the journey, you can go on the path, and that you can pursue your dream.
That's great advice. Now, what about if someone wants to create their own production company? Is there any way you can put those in like a few sentences or a few steps of what they can do to like create their own company?
Yeah, so the key is to just find one trusted either brand or corporation or independent filmmaker who needs a production company, and they want to they need a partner. And this might, the very first project you land, it might be a low budget project. Our first projects that Cutter Productions produced in 2005 was a public service announcement for the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation. A small ad agency in Nova Scotia, Canada, was looking for a trusted partner, and the owner of this ad agency really wanted to work with a New York based production company. And
Wow.
he found me online through a Google search and decided to give me a chance. And that's actually, that project was how I launched my company and how I filed for my corporation papers, opened a business bank account. And it was just one individual who decided they wanted to take a chance on a production company and a person, or an executive producer.
Wow.
And so it's that one project that is where someone's going to hire you for your expertise. It might not be a lot of money, but it's you're getting paid to produce content, and that is how you can launch your company. It might be a really small project, and from there that's how you can build off of new projects, new clients. And as you hone your skills and build your reputation and really build your Rolodex of creative partners that you're aligning yourself with, more media partners are going to start to trust you and give you bigger budget projects. And then again, it's always, you're only as good as your last job, your last partnership. And so it's, no matter what the budget is, you have to make every client partner feel that they're worth $1 million and that you're treating them like gold.
All right. Well, that's great advice. I'm definitely gonna like think about that. Like, don't stress too much about the project in itself, but just make
Yep,
sure you have your project and you do your best because that's all that matters is that you put your best foot forward and guaranteed someone is gonna see it and gonna wanna work with you. So that's really nice to
absolutely.
know. I wouldn't have thought Canada though. I would have thought somewhere in like New York
I
State,
know it
but
was so random. I was at the time I was always just trying to get my feet wet and get as much experience out there, and so I was volunteering for online filmmaking magazine, writing articles, and sort of someone just Googled, how to become a producer, and an article I'd written had popped up, and that's how
wow.
that person found me. Yes, you never
Wow.
know where your first job is going to come from.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on here and giving such great advice. Now, the last thing I want to ask is what is next for Cutter Productions? Do you have anything else in store that we can know about?
Yeah. So alongside running a production company, or alongside Cutter Productions being a full service production company, we also represent a roster of directors. And one of our directors, Aubrey Smith, has a film premiering at Tribeca called Liza Anonymous. It's a short film that's premiering on June 11th. So definitely go to the Tribeca Film Festival website and check that out. And it was a really strong female team behind it as well. The writer, the star director, Aubrey, cinematographer, Chloe, powerful female team. And then Cutter also, we are in pre-production now on a really cool project for um, HP, and it's going to be an unbranded film campaign that we'll be starting filming in the next month. And we just finished a project for a branded campaign for A&E and Sherwin-Williams that will be premiering in the next month as well. So definitely keep an eye on our social media. Just we're really good about showing our latest work and giving you updates on where to find the latest and greatest projects from the company and from all of our amazing directors.
All right. Well, great. You guys are staying busy. And everyone that's watching, make sure to head over to the Tribeca Film Festival June 11th, right? June 11th
Yeah, June
to
11th.
watch the new film that they're airing and stay on the lookout for all of her other projects because this woman is hustling. This is definitely the epitome of strut in the hustle. So thank you so much for tuning in and good luck with everything.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. This was a blast.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.